Hello warriors, this is Coach Cindy. Welcome to week 11. Hooray! One more week and you will have completed your 90 days warrior transformation program. You are definitely on the home stretch and can clearly see yourself crossing the finish line. Hold on and power on. Now this week our warrior trait is that of abundance mentality. And our animal guide is the sea turtle called Kobamu. C-O from the word comes, B-A from the word back, M-U from the word multiplied. Kobamu, which is whatever we give out comes back multiplied, whether it is positive or negative. The sea turtle has been around for over 150 million years. So they've lived for a very long time. Sea turtles can live for 80 to 100 years in age and some even more. They definitely love to travel. And in 1 year, they can travel over 10,000 miles, or in kilometers, that's 16,000 kilometers. Now, this is the interesting fact. When female turtles are mature, which is around 20 to 25 years, they actually returned back to where they were born to lay their eggs. One female sea turtle can lay about 80 to 100 eggs in 5 to 10 different batches called pods. Now, when you multiply that, that is a lot of eggs from one sea turtle. So Kobamu, the sea turtle, reminds us that whatever we give out comes back multiplied, whether it is positive or negative. Sometimes also known as the law of the harvest, or in Buddhism as karma. However, Kobamu is more than that. It is about abundance. It's more than just giving. And we will cover that a little bit later. Now, we often hear about the many benefits of doing good. Sometimes we forget that the negative can return to haunt us. In Bogota, Colombia, for example, in May 2013, and this is a real thing that happened, a man grabbed a woman's phone at a bus stop, and wresting it from her hand, he turned to run away, but only got a few steps before he was hit by a bus. The whole incident was caught on surveillance tape and aired by the BBC and other media. Giving is a good way of practicing abundance. Giving enhances our moods and boosts our immune system. As a result, we become charged inside and out. A study by the American National Institutes of Health examined the MRIs of subjects who gave to charities. They found that giving stimulates the reward center in the brain and leads to a release of endorphins, which creates a feeling that is often called the helper's high. Neuroscientist Paul Zak also links giving to the ability to have empathy for others because it releases oxytocin in our brains. So giving makes us feel more connected with others. Giving creates an abundance mentality. How? Because when you give, it reinforces within us an inner belief that there is plenty to share. When times are tough, therefore, reach out and help someone else. There is a quote I saw which stuck in my mind when I was personally going through a difficult time. And it goes like this. When you are at the end of your rope, tie a knot, reach out, and help someone else. Why is giving when it's harder important? Firstly, it stretches us, remember Stretlet, and causes us to draw and to go within and draw out that which we do have that we may not realize or that we have forgotten. It reminds us that there are others who also need a helping hand and therefore creates an attitude of gratitude. As I shared earlier, it gives you a dose of feel-good hormones and boosts your physical well-being. This puts us into an abundance mindset. When we have an abundance mindset, we always see that there is more. That in return, this switches us to be opportunity focused. There is also a cascading and multiplier effect when you are generous with someone. That person is more likely to be generous to another, and the next will pass it on, and so on and so forth. When we practice giving or serving others, benefits will come. Giving often ends up in benefiting us financially. We often think that, well, rich people can do it and they give a lot. or probably the most that we know. However, have we ever stopped to think that rich people are rich possibly because they started giving when they weren't as rich, or maybe didn't even have a lot, or perhaps even when it was very difficult to give? This is why giving is sometimes called the law of the millionaire. In February 2012, a homeless man named Billy Ray from Kansas City was in his regular spot handing out a cup, asking for spare change. A lady called Sarah Darling passed by, and as usual, she dropped some change in his cup. Unbeknownst to her, she had accidentally dropped her engagement ring, worth in the vicinity of US 4,000, which in Australia would probably be about 10,000 Australian dollars. He tracked her down and returned the ring. Now he could do that because she was a regular and he recognized her. She and her husband were so touched that they held a fundraiser to help get this man back on track. Now imagine how many meals and what Billy Ray could have done with the ring, right, if he had sold it, but he did not. So Billy Ray was able to turn his life around, got himself into a home and even a car. And because of this, he appeared in the news. And get this, his family, who has lost track of him for 16 years, thought he was dead, saw him, and he was reunited with them. How fantastic is that? We often shine the spotlight on someone like Billy Ray, but what about Sarah Darling? The simple, everyday habit or regular habit of giving up her spare change to someone else. Because she did this, she was easier to track down. Imagine how devastated she must have been when she found out that she had lost her ring. This is priceless to her engagement ring. And when she needed to have help most, she was gifted with the return of her ring. So it is an amazing, amazing event that occurred. Another example which I like to share is that of a man called Morris E. Goodman, also known as the Miracle Man. You can Google him on the internet if you are interested in more information. In March 1981, he was flying his own plane in Chesapeake Bay in the northeast part of America. His engine lost power, he had a severe accident, breaking his C1, C2 cervical vertebrae, and he was fully paralyzed. Not only that, he was not able to breathe, talk, or swallow on his own, and could only communicate by blinking his eyes. He was told he would never ever walk again. But Morris Goodman never gave up hope and set a goal that he would walk out of the hospital without any assistance within 8 months. Everyone thought he was mad. That was impossible. But did that get Morris down? No. His progress was amazing, and when he could eventually talk, he would cheer anybody that came in contact with him. When he could sit up, wherever he went, he would always share a positive message and encourage others. His undaunting faith inspired many. One day, Morris Goodman, who was very close to his target dates, after many attempts to get up and stand, could not do and kept falling. So he was close. He was in absolute despair because he was so close to his target date. And he felt almost for that fleeting moment that perhaps he had been a little too ambitious. At that very moment, another patient came up to him and said, "Don't you give up. I have been watching you and you've given me and many others hope. Don't you give up. You can do this." At a time when Morris needed it most, he received what he constantly gave out, encouragement. Now, I've lived in Utah for nearly 20 years. Utah is the network marketing capital of the world. Many say that this is one of a challenging industry. However, we've seen many great successes and many high-income earners. The common thread that I witnessed was that those that are the most successful are the ones that genuinely wanted others to be successful and often go the extra mile to do it. If you want to be successful, help another person be successful. As a warrior trait, the abundance mentality is an innate quality and trait that is in us. So on this program, if there's any of you that may find it hard to be completing or hold on to a program, perhaps an idea is to reach out and brighten someone's day and encourage or help someone else. It will give you a boost of energy for you to be able to power on. Or maybe you're doing great and fantastic. However, still reach out and help someone. Make it an everyday habit to brighten someone's day. Maybe share or post something of encouragement or a tip on the forum. As warriors, that's what we do and that's who we are. May whatever good you give out return multiplied to you, especially when you need it most. Our presence does do the teaching, and our presence as warriors is that of abundance, and we attract abundance in abundance. Power on and savor your journey.